Pay attention to what they are wearing. Pay attention to what they're wearing here. Pay attention to what they're wearing here. Pay attention to what they're wearing here and here as well. Simply because you know of certain brands and you hear of certain brands doesn't mean that's the brands that other people are wearing that walk into your store. Ask people, like, what is that? My gosh, I like your bracelet. Where did you get that from? Now they're going to tell you that information and then write it on down. So this way you can research that brand. You can learn a little bit more about it as well. If people are coming in with that, you want to come across as a professional, like you know what you're talking about. If they own something from the competition, ask them, why do you own it? Is then going to give you the information that you need to know of why they purchased something in the past. Then listen, then use that to close. That is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is don't reinvent the wheel. Now, after they've given you that information from tip number 2, use that information and figure out how to apply the reasons why they purchased that to why they're now going to purchase something from you. Now, how do you do this? Because people can give you a lot when it comes into information. This is by knowledge. This is by you knowing everything about the brands that you sell. Read everything, go on all of the websites. If your store that you're working in sells multiple different brands, go on all the websites from all of those brands, read every About Me page as well, multiple times, over and over and over. Do your research, because if you have enough information about that brand, you can then craft your story in a way that connects with the reason why they previously purchased to why they should now purchase something from the brand that you sell today. So don't reinvent the wheel. That is tip number 3. Now let's move on to tip number 4. If you don't own it, but they like it, what's stopping you? Now, that might seem a little bit strange, but if the person doesn't own a piece from maybe a certain brand, but they bring that up in conversation as well, they're like, oh my God, I love Cartier, I love Rolex as well, I always wanted to get me a Submariner, a Daytona, or the love bracelet. Oh my gosh, I just love bracelets. Whatever it is that that person is bringing up, ask them, do you own one of those? And then if the person says no, ask them, why don't you? Like, why don't you have one of the love bracelets? Find out the reason why. The reason why might be price. The reason why might be they've never been able to go to a Cartier store. The reason why might be they've been told they really want to, the first time they ever buy a piece from that brand, that they want to go to New York City to the first boutique they had there as well, because the experience of buying there is something just so much more memorable. But I've never been to New York City, but I know one day when I go, there's so many reasons why that person might not own a piece, even though they love that piece though too. Now that is tip number 4. Now, if you've still been watching this video, you're probably also wondering who I am, what I do. My name's Levon. I'm a jewelry sales training expert. I've worked within different media and promotional companies with different cruise lines, selling different jewelry brands in and throughout the Caribbean islands, also working with different jewelry companies though too. I've been doing this for many years, and I thought I would take some of that information that I've learned and teach you this through video so you can apply it as an individual and help to make more sales, basically. Now let's continue though, and of course, well, if you do want to be able to make more sales, before I continue, you should subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, now let's continue. If a competing website or brand keeps getting brought up, research them. Even if you don't sell those items, research it. Spend time on their websites as well. Click on the different items. Even send them emails through their contact us part, asking them questions though too, so you can find out those resolutions. Do you know what their warranty is compared to your warranty as well? Do you know if something was to go wrong, how long does it take for them to fix it compared to how long it takes for you to fix it though too? Bookmark it on your phone so you can then also show them. Because coming from you, you're the salesperson. Coming from someone else, like the website, then this is really putting you on their side. Like you're actually helping to guide them make the right decision. Now let's move on to tip number 6. Don't replace, complement it, or stack it. Now, this means if a person owns something from that brand, like let's say it is, I've brought it up many times, so we're going to continue with the Cartier Love bracelet. Person owns something like that, don't try to sell them a bracelet to replace it. Try to either then show them something that could complement it. Do you have items in your store that could stack well with the bracelet though too? Or if it's a ring, for example, if it is an engagement ring, do you have bands that would fit really well with that piece? If the person already owns a band though too, do you have a bracelet that is then matching to that ring? Tip number 7, and this is don't compete on price, compete on your difference. Competing on price is a losing game. It's a losing game right to the bottom. It just goes down like this. Because when you're competing on price, you can only go, you're going cheaper, you're going cheaper, you're going cheaper, you're going cheaper, like that. Don't know what separates the brand or brands that you sell compared to other brands as well. So this way you know what the difference really is. And this is why you can have the same company selling the same item for 10 times the amount that another company does, even though it is the same item. And this is pretty common within jewelry. And this is people don't care about irrelevant information. So what do I mean by this? Every brand normally has a brand story that goes with it. Now, many of these brands want you to present their story in the way that the brand has created the story or curated it to people. Now, this might be another great example. John Hardy, another common brand, they make a lot of bracelets, chains, and it takes 3 hours to weave 1 inch of a John Hardy bracelet. Now, if that person comes in and they don't mention anything about durability, they don't care about that. They're like, yeah, you know, I've got 20 bracelets as well, and I just like them because of the sparkle that they then have, the brilliance, because of the diamonds or the gems that are set within it. Then you're like, yeah, it takes 3 hours to weave 1 inch of a bracelet. So, and if a person then has told you that none of their bracelets are broken, they've never had any issues with getting it fixed, if it did break, they've never had any issues surrounding that, then why use the brand story about durability in that conversation? But many people will do this. They'll just blurt out the brand story but not know how to apply that brand story to the person standing in front of them. This is why 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen always twice as much as you talk. This way you can learn how to tell your brand story and how it's related to that person standing in front of you. Walk into competing stores. Go and visit that store. Walk on in, see what it is they have, talk to their people as well. By simply doing that, you might learn why they're doing so much more sales and revenue compared to what you're doing. Number 10, the final tip, and this is knowing why you're more expensive or less expensive than your competition. And 2 of the main reasons why a person might not end up buying is because they don't either love the piece or it is the price. So, why are you more expensive than your competition? It's like I'm hitting over the head with it. Research, spend time on the internet, spend time on those companies' websites, call them, send them emails, find out why you are more expensive or find out why you are the more cost-effective option. Hopefully this video helps you out as well, and if you would love to learn more ways to sell more jewelry and make more money from it as well, become a better jewelry salesperson overall, make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch the next video.